Hey everybody, this is Chris with Night of Living Card Games. I am back from 4 days of gaming at Gen Con and going to continue my Sinister Motives campaign. But first, since just before Gen Con, I had crossed the 100 subscribers threshold, I decided what I would do is have a little bit of a getaway. Down at Gen Con, they were giving away some Marvel Champions promo cards for the events, and God knows I played a lot of Marvel Champions this past weekend. But so it is the Captain Marvel Energy Genius Strength, along with the Spider-Man Energy Genius Strength. Now, if you did the print and play, these look a little familiar to you. These are the same art that they used in the print and play that they did, I think, about a year and a half ago. But one difference is these actually do have the Marvel logo on the back, because if you print them yourself, at least I haven't found any print company that is willing to take on Disney and put that Marvel logo on the back. So I got some extra packs of this, and I thought I would do a random giveaway for a couple of subscribers. I've got a couple extra packs that I will do, and I figure maybe next weekend, I will do some random name drawing, and I will happily send out a couple of the promo packs for Marvel Champions, just as a thank you for everybody that's been watching my videos. That aside, another time I might go into my thoughts on the next Evolution game. I was able to get the first scenario in there a couple of times, and that was a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that box. And then, of course, we got the big Deadpool announcement as well. But that's for another day. Right now, we've got Spider-Man Miles Morales coming up against Mysterio. So the random hero, random aspect choice for Mysterio was an Aggression Miles Morales deck. So before I get into this and the villain and everything, let's take a look at our setup. So with Mysterio, it's pretty simple. We put Mysterio into play. He comes in with Personal Nightmare and Whispers of Paranoia. And the setup on his Scheme 1A says, put a Shifting Apparition minion into play. Let's go find him. There's one. Shifting Apparition is a 1 scheme, 1 attack, 1 hit point minion with the illusion trait and does have guard. And then it says, when defeated, if you defeated the minion using excess damage, shuffle the top card of the encounter deck into the player deck. Right, real quick, looking at Mysterio is a 2 scheme 1 attack, 15 hit point villain. He has a forced response that after you resolve a boost card during Mysterio's activation, so attack or scheming, place that card in your discard pile if it has the illusion trait. So I have to pay attention to these traits, otherwise I will forget. So, and as always with the campaign, we start with the public outcry and 2 infamy counters on it. Now, taking a look at our reputation track, we're up to reputation 9 on here. So, we got the shield tech, which we chose previously as a risk navigator, and I decided to use my spider tracer token instead of moving the card around. That'll make things a lot easier. We get 1 additional mulligan, and then each player, since we're at 9 now, each player chooses an aspect card in their collection from any aspect and adds the maximum numbers of copies by title to their deck for the rest of the campaign, recorded, and it doesn't count towards the minimum or maximum deck size. So I did choose an aggression card. I chose Dropkick. It's a good card that gets stun and some card draw on here. Even though I'm aggression here, I'm not going to be aggression in the last 2, so having some extra damage for justice and protection seemed useful. So I'll get those added and do it. With campaign mode, again, we need to pick one of these campaign side schemes and shuffle it up and put it into the deck. All right, we are getting Off the Rails, so I will shuffle that in a second. The other thing with this one is we get Venom as an ally in this. So we start with Venom in play. So Venom is a 4-cost ally. He has 2 thwart, 3 attack, and 6 hit points. Sounds great. He's got a response. After you reveal an encounter card, deal 1 damage to Venom, and then deal damage to an enemy equal to the number of icons, both boost and star, in the card's boost area. That's also great. Oh, but he comes out with a hazard icon, so we're getting an extra encounter card for each turn that Venom is out. We also have to add this Snitches Get Stitches attachment to the encounter deck. It is a victory -1. So you have to attach to Venom, the Venom ally. If you cannot, it gains Surge. And then Forced to Interrupt, when a villain attacks, it attacks Venom. And if it defeats Venom, add Venom and this card to the victory display. And then as an action, I can exhaust Venom and spend 2 resources of the same type to discard this. Alright, so these are getting shuffled in. Get that in a minute. So that was my reputation stuff that I got. Venom was a campaign. But so for the villain, so we got the Osborn tech, which is already in there. We got to place 1 per player additional threat on the main scheme. So we'll get that added there. And now for having 9, it says setup in player order. Each player must search for the encounter deck and discard pile for a minion and put that minion into play. Engaged with them. So I am going to get another Shifting Apparition. There's not a ton of minions in here. There's a Shifting Apparition and there's an Evil Doppelganger. So Shifting Apparition is a little bit of an easier. Yeah, it might cause encounter cards to get shuffled into my deck, but of course, that's Mysterio's shtick. So what are you going to do? And Risk Navigator, I don't remember the timing on this, honestly. If my setup happens before the campaign setup happens, so I don't know if I'm supposed to put the Risk Navigator on one of these two or not. I think the villain and the campaign setup happens first, so I don't think Risk Navigator is out yet. So I am not going to attach it to either of these guys. So looking at Scheme 1B, Maze of Mirrors, it is an 8 threat threshold, starts with 2 plus 1, and goes up 1 per round. And then it has a Force to Interrupt. When you would draw or discard an encounter card from your deck, deal it to yourself as a face-down encounter card, then draw 1 card. So, he's going to be putting encounter cards in my deck. I'll be discarding them, but I at least get to draw still. So, again, Miles Morales real quickly. Alter Ego side has hit points 9, hand size 6, recovery of 4. And he has a response: after you change to this form, shuffle 1 Spider-Man card from your discard pile into your deck. Hero side, he's got 2 thwart, 2 attack, 2 defense, and a hand size of 5. And he has 2 special abilities. Venom Blast, deal 2 damage to an enemy, stun that enemy. Spider Camouflage, special, give Spider-Man a tough status card, and confuse an enemy. So Miles is great about just dishing out status cards. And he's got a couple events that kind of play off that as well. So we've got everything set up. Why don't we draw our opening hand and get ourselves started here. Let's start. We got a Web Shot, Clobber, Web Shooter, Energy, Swing In, and Double Life. Gonna get a couple guard tokens out here just to remind me that I got to take care of these ones. All right, I definitely don't need Double Life. Swing In would be nice. Energy would be nice. Web Shooter, definitely. Don't think I need Clobber. I'll keep Web Shot as well. Let's get greedy. I do apologize if my voice sounds a little rough or if I have to cut out in and then. I did pick up the dreaded con crud from Gen Con, so I'm just about over that, but voice is still a little raw. Ooh, we got a drop kick. And finally, Professor X. All right. Okay, so I think I got a plan here. So we're going to spend Professor X to get out our web shooters. Web Shooter is a 1-cost upgrade, comes in with 3 web counters, and we can exhaust it and spend a web counter in hero mode only. This is the hero resource to generate a wild resource. We're going to flip ourselves out. We are now going to overkill some minions here. So Venom is going to attack and deal 3 damage. I don't really have a way to just do 1 damage, so we're just going to have to live with the fact that we're getting encounter cards shuffled into our deck. Right? That takes care of one of these. And then I'm going to punch regularly to take care of this one. And then just like that, public outcry is taken care of. So that's good. All right, let me quickly shuffle this in. And as always, I'll try to avert my eyes or close them. You'll just have to trust me that I'm not looking and trying to stack the deck in my favor. We'll say in my experience, Mysterio can be very swingy. Sometimes you get through and the encounter cards that end up in your deck are minimal. Sometimes they all just gang up together and it's just awful. So, all right. So now we are going to spend two energy to play Web Shot. It is a 2-cost event. It says hero action, deal 4 damage to an enemy. All right, so that takes him down to 11. All right, if you paid for this card using energy resource, which I did, resolve Spider-Man's Venom Blast ability, which is deal 2 damage to an enemy, 1, 2, taking him down to 9, and stun that enemy. Right, I'm now going to exhaust my Web Shooter and spend one of my web counters and Dropkick to play Swing In. Swing In says hero action, remove 4 threat from a scheme. Take 3 off of that. If you paid for this card using a mental resource, and because I use Web Shooter, that was a wild resource, so that counts, resolve Spider-Man's Spider Camouflage ability, which says, give Spider-Man a tough status, and then confuse an enemy. So like I said, he loves handing out status tokens, so that's about all I can do, so I'm going to ready myself up here. Draw back up to my hand size. I get a 1/1. Clobber, Warrior Skill, Martial Prowess, and a Champion's Mobile Bunker. Alright, Villain Phase. We're getting 1 on the main. He would come to attack, but he is stunned. And now we get 2 encounter cards, 1 regularly, and 1 from Venom. Alright, so we got Deja Vu, Peril. When revealed, choose to either take 1 damage or place 1 threat on the main scheme, and then shuffle Deja Vu into any player's deck. Well, I don't want to lose my tough card, so I'm gonna put the extra threat on there, and since I'm the only player, I've got to shuffle it into mine. That one's one you can always grief somebody else on if you don't want to. While I'm shuffling, let's make sure I don't have to shuffle something else out. Well, he attacks me. All right. Well, what I am gonna do is I don't have to exhaust him. I'm just going to ping a damage to Venom. It's only 1 damage, but honestly, I hate getting extra encounter cards with Mysterio because they can just be so annoying at times. So I tend to kill off Venom kind of quickly. All right, so he's coming to attack me. I'm just going to take it because I'm tough. So he's attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4. It is not illusion traded, so I don't have to put it in my discard pile, but that does take care of my tough. All right. That is it for me. All right, so I think I'm going to spend 1 and Clobber to get down my Martial Prowess. So Martial Prowess is a 2-cost upgrade, and as a resource, you can exhaust a Martial Prowess to generate a physical resource for an attack event. All right. I am now going to use Venom to attack for 3, taking him down to 5. And then I will just punch for 2. Actually, I'm not going to punch for 2. I am going to thwart for 2. And I'm going to spend 2 to get Warrior skill down. No. I'm going to get my Champion's Mobile Bunker down. So Champion's Mobile Bunker is a 2-cost support upgrade. Champion and vehicle traded. Hero action, exhaust Champion's Mobile Bunker, and then choose an identity with the champion trait. The player who controls that identity may draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards from their hand. So it allows you to mill your deck and get to what you need to get to. So because he's confused, I'm going to flip down, and my special ability says I get to go find a Spider-Man card and shuffle it back into my deck. I'm going to do Web Shot. All right. And now we're going to ready yourselves up. All right, draw back up. Get a strength. Spider-Man Peter Parker. Spider-Man Hobie Brown. Drop kick. Double life. And another web shooter. All right. Villain phase, we're getting 1 on the main. He would scheme, but he is confused. And we get 2 encounter cards again. First is Delusion of Collusions. You cannot ready allies or persona supports you control. Alter ego action, discard an ally or persona support you control. Discard this card. All right. I'm going to use Venom's ability to deal myself a damage. And there were 2 icons on in there, so I get to do 2 damage. And now we get Masterful Mirage. Attached to Mysterio. Has a plus, gives him a +1 scheme. And Force Interrupt, when you would deal any amount of damage to Mysterio, discard the top 4 cards of your deck instead, and discard this card. I'm going to, because Venom's response is not limited to once per phase or only once, 1 card per round or anything like that. You can do it as much as you want as long as he's alive. I'm going to do that again. So I think, timing-wise, yeah, this is after you reveal it. So I revealed it, so this is attached to him. I would do 2 damage to him instead, because it's any amount of damage, not from an attack, just any amount of damage. Discard the top 4 cards of your deck instead. So again, this is trying to mill your deck to get to those encounter cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Discard those, and then this goes away. Right, that is his turn. I'm going to use this alter ego action. I am going to discard Venom to get rid of Delusions of Collusion. All right, we're going to flip ourselves up. Not exhaust myself, flip myself up. There we go. All right, I'm going to Champion's Mobile Bunker. Look at 2 cards. I got 2 really good cards. Defense Mechanism and Power Within. I was going to get some allies out, but I think I'm going to pause on that. I'm going to get rid of Double Life and Hobie, I think. All right. I'm going to use my martial prowess and a strength to play Dropkick. Dropkick is a 3-cost event. Deal 4 damage to an enemy. 1, 2, 3, 4. That knocks Mysterio into phase 2. Mysterio phase 2 is 2 scheme to attack with 17 hit points. And when revealed, shuffle the top card of the encounter deck into the player's deck. And it has a similar forced response, but so a boost card with the illusion trait. Instead of putting it in your discard pile, you now put it at the bottom of your deck. So getting to it faster. So I got to shuffle this in. All right. So while I'm doing that, so then drop kick, because I played using only physical resources, I get to stun an enemy and draw a card. Alright, let me get his hit points up to 17. So he is stunned, and I get to draw a card, which is Aggressive Energy. Would have been nice for the drop kick, but that's okay. Alright, I am going to spend Aggressive Energy to get a web shooter out. I am going to, you know what? I'm going to pitch Peter Parker Spider-Man to get Power Within. Power Within says, is a 1-cost upgrade and says hero response after your hero uses a basic power. So thwart, attack, or defense. Discard Power Within and resolve Spider-Man's Venom Blast ability. So that's give myself a tough card status and confuse villain. And then I'm going to use one of these web shooter counters to put Defense Mechanism into play, which is a 1-cost upgrade. And it says hero response after your hero uses a basic power. Discard Defense Mechanism to resolve Spider-Man's Spider Camouflage ability. Oh, sorry, Venom Blast is 2 damage and a stun. Spider Camouflage is a tough status and a confuse. Alright, so I'm going to attack for 2. 1, 2. And I am going to trigger Defense Mechanism. So I get a tough card. Mysterio is confused. No real point to do Power Within because he's already stunned at this point. So that is that. I'm going to ready myself up. Draw up. So 1, 2, encounter card. So I deal it as a face down encounter card. And then I draw a card. 3, 4, another 1, and 5. So that way, like in this situation, I don't lose out on cards in my hand because of these. But we'll have to see what these ones are. All right, so I got Web Shot, Clobber, Mockingbird, Dropkick, and Genki Lee. All right, villain phase. We're going up by 1. He would attack, but he is stunned. We are getting 3 encounter cards. The first one being Shadow of the Past. All right, then. So, Shadow of the Past. My Nemesis minion is the Prowler. Prowler is a 1-scheme, 2-attack, 5-hit point enemy with Stalwart. And when revealed, if you are in your alter ego form, give Prowler a tough status card. Alright. And then the side scheme in play says Tracking Prey. Comes in with 4 threat and has the acceleration icon. It says, when revealed, if you are in alter ego form, place 1 acceleration token here. All right. Well, that was unfortunate. And then we got 3 other cards to shuffle it. Okay. Next one is Smear Campaign. If Public Outcry is in play, which it is not. So if it's not in play, place 2 threat on the main scheme. And last but not least, we get Old Grudge. When revealed, search the encounter deck, discard pile, and set aside play area for your Nemesis minion. Then reveal that minion. Attach Old Grudge to it. And then attached minion gets +1 hit points. That's interesting because I'm assuming because it is a second sentence, because he's already out, I still attach to it. But just the way it's written makes it sound like you only attach it if you find him, but that's not how it really is intended to play. So Prowler is now 6 hit points. Okay, so that's all the encounter cards. It is now my turn. All right, let's Champions Mobile Bunker first. So draw 2 cards, Web Shot and Ironheart. All right. Gonna get rid of Mockingbird and Genki Lee. So let's see here. So I think we're going to use Web Shooter and a Clobber to play Ironheart. 2-cost ally, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 hit points. In response, after you play Ironheart from your hand, draw a card. I did, and it's Go for Champions. Ooh. Yeah, I don't really need that, though. Don't really need that. So I am going to, instead, use Martial Prowess and a Go for Champions to play a Web Shot onto Mysterio. So I deal 4 damage, take him down to 11. And Go for Champions was a wild, so that does count as a energy resource. So I get to do Venom Blast, which is deal 2 damage, taking him down to 9, and stunning him. Let's see here. So he's at 9. I could. I'm just seeing. So I've got Dropkick and Web Shot in my hand. With the other Web Shooter, I could play Web Shot, and that would deal 6 damage. And then I could attack for 2 more for 8, and then Spider Camouflage for 10. Yep. So I guess that's what I'm doing, folks. Dropkick, and last charge off that Web Shooter to play Web Shot, deal 4 damage to an enemy, taking him down to 5. I used a lightning resource, so I get to do 2 damage, 1, 2, down to 3. Can't stun him again. I attack regularly for 2, taking him down to 1. And then I used a basic power. I'm going to discard Power Within to trigger Venom Blast ability, deal 2 damage and stun him. 2 damage is done. Down to 0 and defeated. All right, well, that was quick. Obviously, Prowler, I didn't even worry about him. I could have used that if I cared about minions and side schemes and things, but that's okay. Maybe I should have because of the reputation tracker, but just blitz him down and let's see what happens. So, like I said, Mysterio can be really swingy. As you can see, when I got hit with multiple encounter cards, none of them, other than Shadow, none of them were really terrible. And he's kind of squishy, honestly. So you can beat on him and just break through him pretty easily. And he doesn't hit for very much. So, and with Miles handing out those stun and confuse statuses left and right, you just lock him down and just crush a lot of opponents. I mean, steady and stalwart enemies are problems for him, but if the villain doesn't have that, he can just lock them down and take care of them. So I do hope you enjoyed watching it. As always, thank you to everybody that took the time to watch the video. If you noticed anything I did wrong or anything, let me know. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. If there's something you want to see, leave a comment. Tell me what. I got to finish up this campaign. Then I've got an idea. I think I'm going to do a little bit of two-handed after this and play around with some of the team-up cards and have fun with those because I don't utilize those enough while I'm playing solo. So real quick, let's take a look at the reputation tracker. So I'm probably not going to get a ton here, but victory points in the victory display, there's 1. No minions in play, didn't get that. No side schemes in play, nope. No threat of the main scheme, nope. Fewer than 1 acceleration token, yep. No defeated identities, yep. Okay, so I got myself up to 12, which is not quite enough to get to the next one. I should have spent another turn clearing out some stuff for some victory points. Oh well. That's what I get for being greedy and just wanting to power through, so. We'll see how the next one goes. So next one will be the massive Sinister Six, Escape the Trap. My 2 choices left are Spider Suit and Spider Ham, and I've got a Justice and a Protection aspect left. So we'll see what the next one brings and how that one fares. So again, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great time. If you're not already, again, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for my channel if you want. Next weekend, I will plan on doing a drawing. I got 2 of these sets that I'm going to give away, and I will ship them out to you. So if you're interested in that, all you have to do is hit subscribe, and I'll put your name in the list, and we'll see who gets picked. So again, thanks everybody. Have a great night.